think the Red Sox are probably a little more hands-on, especially when it comes to the pitching development side. Seems like you have 20 different guys that you can talk to see what you need to work on or be in the position to help you. So both take great care of the players and everything, set you up for success. But I would say the Red Sox just have a little more people to do that.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of To The Show We Go Baseball Podcast. Today's episode, we got another returning guest from last offseason. We have Red Sox pitching prospect David Sandlin. Now, if you're not familiar with David, he spent the 2024 season split between Greenville and Portland. Obviously, came over via trade before that. So, David, I always like to start off on a lighter note, easy note here. You're back in Oklahoma. Our good friend Isaac Stebbins said that you guys have been training together along with Michael Fulmer. So how have things been going so far in your offseason?
Going good. It's finally getting into more intense throwing and everything like that. Just hammering the weight room, trying to put the body in the right position to get ready for the next year, make a huge stride, hopefully. But it's good having those guys that I recognize from the Red Sox organization around, getting to hang out with them, kind of like bond a little bit more. We're going to have Peyton Tolley also start joining us next week as he comes back during the dead period from the complex. So it's going to be exciting to kind of mesh with those guys.
Yeah, I asked Peyton a little bit about this when we had him on before, but how would you describe Oklahoma to someone who's never been there before?
It gets a bad rep. A lot of people just think it's just the Midwest Cowboys and just like prairie and stuff like that. But Oklahoma City is kind of on the come up, especially downtown area around the Thunder Stadium. It's like as they do better, the city grows. But I just describe it as low key. It's just a nice low key place. You got stuff to do, but traffic's not too bad. There's not too many people, so it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, I think it was kind of funny because I think when he asked Peyton that question, it was right after me and my wife watched Twisters, which was obviously based in Oklahoma, and she kind of leaned over like during the movie, and she's like, "Is that what Oklahoma's like? Like, is it like like massive tornadoes just ripping up these small towns all over?" I'm like, "No, I don't think Oklahoma's. I know they get bad weather, but I don't think it's just like all tornadoes like every single day during the summer."
No, during the summer it's pretty quiet. It's late spring or like April, and then actually kind of recently, it's like almost every weekend or every other weekend we've been kind of getting them. We had a bad cluster of them, I think 2 weeks ago, but you get used to it. A lot of people around here like just go out and watch it. Like they don't get scared of them anymore. It's kind of just a normal thing. It happens all the time.
Ed, you are muted, sir.
We're going to get into your actual 2024 season momentarily, but I do have a question, and this is more just, I'll just ask it. You were traded for John Schreiber. Do you look at how he does during the season and compare? Like, are you like, if he's having a good year, are you like, yeah, I got traded for that guy, but if he were to get just totally lit up, you'd be just like, oh, no, that looks bad for me now. They traded this crap for me.
No, obviously I would check up because I still have good relationship with a lot of the guys on the Royals and everything. Some of them getting their debuts and stuff last year, some of them getting just added to the 40-man recently. So I got a good relationship with them. So I was still kind of keeping up and watching them. So I watched him pitch a couple of times. He started the year really strong before I think he had his little IL stint as well. But I don't compare anyway because it's two different games and he's a reliever, I'm a starter, and it's his world and it's my world. So it's like it doesn't affect me any way, shape, or form on how he does or how I do to affect him. So
very true. Very true. Now, did you play at all with Bobby Witt Jr. in the minors?
No, I did not.
You were a little after his time there.
He was already being Bobby baseball for him. So
yeah, what was it like for you just watching the Royals this season and having gone through the system with some of these guys? And they did some cool things this year. Like, what was that like for you from AA?
It was really cool seeing those guys perform really well. I saw a lot of the jokes on Twitter and stuff about like them using the power of friendship, not being a big market team and everything. But it was cool to watch them because I know they handle business really well over there. I have nothing but good things to say about them. And the camaraderie over there between the guys, it seems like it's really, really good.
Now, do you believe in the power of friendship?
Oh, absolutely.
Good man.
What's the friendship power like? What's the friendship situation in the Red Sox system right now in Double A? You were in High A for a bit. What's the power of friendship like there?
Oh, it's good. It's really good. I mean, you got those guys that you think like would have the right to kind of like walk around like they own the place. Whether the big four, if you want to call them that or whatever, but like those guys are super, super laid back. They welcome everybody. They kind of help you adjust differently. Even the older guys that were up there that have been there for a while, everybody's just trying to help each other like move forward in their career. So it's been really good.
What's been the biggest difference between the Royals system and the Red Sox system for you?
Amount of staff is definitely one. It seems like there's a lot of more staff for the Red Sox. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty similar. I think the Red Sox are probably a little more hands-on, especially when it comes to the pitching development side. Seems like you have 20 different guys that you can talk to see what you need to work on or be in the position to help you. So both take great care of the players and everything, set you up for success. But I would say the Red Sox just has a little more people to do that.
So after you got to spend time, like Ed said, you spent a little time in Greenville, a little time in Portland. When you look back at 2024, what are some of your takeaways, I guess, from starting your year in High A and then moving on to Double A?
Just keep taking it one step at a time. Don't give the hitters too much credit as I move up and down or whatever it is maybe. I am moving levels for a reason, so there's no reason to go up there and all of a sudden back off that go mode that I like to take towards hitters. And I think it was just kind of the whole year was just refining my tools and everything, keep working on stuff, which at times got a little tough because you want to go out there, compete, and do the best you can, but you got to think of the bigger picture of working on stuff and getting that in game time is the best time to work.
You mentioned earlier that you definitely see yourself as a starter. I've read with some of the scouting reports that you weren't going as deep into games as some other guys there, but I'm wondering if that was part of the plan to just kind of limit your pitch count, build up your durability, and then move forward, or what is the plan for you this season? Are you going to be throwing more innings? Like, what are you looking at doing?
Yeah, I think the plan is more innings. I think last year the inning count really only hit because of that short IL stint I had, or I guess not short, it was about a month long, but IL stint I had in May. So then we started building back up, and it's like right as soon as I got built back up again, kind of had some tweak in the back, and the velo dipped a little bit. So they're like, hey, we'd rather you go 2, 3, 4 innings than 5 or 6, just so you get your first full season under your belt. As in 2023, I didn't get that full season.
Do you have I guess, and this isn't saying that like you would be more suited for one than the other. I'm just curious your perspective. Do you have a different outlook on starting versus relieving?
I mean, of course, I want to be a starter. I've said that, like, I just want to go as many innings as possible to be out there and perform for the team. I want to be the guy that's in control. But no, I think just either or, you just go out there, take it one inning at a time. Because you have those long relief, you have the closers, you have so many different things you can do with the relief role. But I think as long as you just go out there, take it one pitch at a time, one hitter at a time, and just go after somebody, it doesn't really matter what role you have.
Is there any pitcher that you look at and you think like that's the kind of career path I want to emulate?
I would probably say Scherzer, especially his mentality on the mound. I'm a big fan of that.
He's a Mizzou guy too, so I'm a big fan of that. So something stuck out to me when we had Blake Wehunt on our show a couple days ago. But he mentioned that going into this season in spring training, the Red Sox approached him with he had 4 pitches, he said, when he went into the year. into spring training. He left spring training with only one of those 4 pitches and 3 new ones that they wanted him to learn and start throwing. What did anything like that? I feel like, we talk to a lot of guys in the system. I feel like everybody's got a sweeper. It's either new or they've kind of tweaked their old slider that was sweeperish or whatever. But what is your, like, I guess now going into the offseason, what's your arsenal kind of look like? And then were there any new pitches you debuted this past year?
Yeah, so I had the sweeper, and I think the only 2 pitches that I walked out of spring training that I had before with the same grips and everything was the fastball and the curveball. Slider, I came out of spring training with the old grip that I had. I think probably 3 weeks in the season, the goal was, hey, let's throw it a little bit harder as the velo and the fastball's ticking up and get some separation between the slider and the sweeper. So played around with grips on that, threw like more of like a bullet gyro slider, and then sweeper was new, and splitter we were tinkering with grips all year because that just was such a hit or miss pitch for me. So that's one of the goals I'm really going to focus on this offseason, is get that consistent, either get a changeup now or a splitter. And then we got one more pitch in the works for this offseason that I'll be debuting next year and kind of leaving that as a surprise. So
mystery pitch. I like that.
Yes.
I like it too. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be exciting to see. Obviously, a lot is said about. I think I think fans always gravitate towards velocity, obviously, and it was you had hit 100 in the last off season, in off season training and all that, but. What did you have any this year with your average velo or anything? Were you working on ways to increase that, or I guess how did your velocity program work for you this year?
Yeah, so obviously just first step in that process is just getting your body in the right position, whether that's proper nutrition, proper sleep, like a lot of mobility work went into it, some weighted ball stuff went into it. But yeah, we were just trying to build it to where I could maintain that velo for longer and have a higher average. It's great to go out there and pop triple digits on the gun and everything, but we'd rather have a higher average than that peak velocity.
What have you found I'll let you go first, Andrew.
No, I was going a complete 180 here. So you.
No, I was too. So
okay, fair. Well, if you want me to go, I can go.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was going to ask you about being an Oklahoma guy, obviously. And so we had a training partner, Isaac Stebbins, on this show actually as well this week. And Isaac dropped a little thing that he's like, before I started playing baseball, I'd never been outside the little he called it a belt. It was Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. He'd never been outside that little belt. And he said baseball has made him go so many different ways, and he's never been I guess he'd never been outside those 3 states, and now he's been out to California for Mikey Romero's wedding. He's been like all these places now. For you, when you got to Portland, was that the first time you'd been up to New England?
Yes, it was. I had went to New York City one time as I think like a 7th or 8th grader, some school trip that that we got to sign up for. And then other than that, it was last off season. The furthest northeast I had gotten for extended period of time was Pennsylvania, because that's where my girlfriend's from. So I'd never even really thought about being up to New England, or let alone that Maine area. Like, for people down in Oklahoma, we don't really feel like that's a state, because just no one is there. But no, it was really cool, because I'm a history guy. I love learning about history and all the history that happened, obviously, in the New England states. So it was cool to go up there and see that, and kind of see that culture that's up there. And I mean, that time of the year is summer. I'll take summers up there over summers down here any day.
Is there any period of history that you're most interested in?
I like a lot of the early American Revolutionary War stuff. So being up there was really cool. I know me and my girlfriend are definitely going to try to explore some more of that next year, whether that be just on off days or All-Star break or whatever it may be.
Yeah, you're definitely in the right place for that. Building on what Andrew said there, I'm just going to go through a couple of the cities that you played in. And I'm just going to ask you what your favorite part of each of them was, and I'm sure there are parts that weren't as great, but this is a positive show. So, um, the Columbia Fireflies. What Columbia was that?
That's right there where the University of South Carolina is. I mean, I would say that ballpark is the closest, if not equal to Greenville that I played in. Those two are definitely the top two ballparks I played in. We had a lot of fans, really nice, clean park. It was a lot of good times to play at that place.
Now, you only got into 2 starts, but the Quad City River Bandits, again, where is Quad City?
So that's right at Davenport, Iowa. So that's where the team is. I actually lived with a host family in Moline, Illinois. So like we had guys living in both states. I would say the best part is they had a pretty cool downtown area there right next to the ballpark.
I've heard really good things about this next one. I've still never been there, and that's Greenville. You already mentioned the ballpark there. I've heard really nice things about the just the town in general, it being very walkable, there being hiking. But what was your favorite part of playing in Greenville?
Yeah, I would say the close proximity everything is to the field. Like you could walk over to the field from our apartments, you could walk downtown to the shops, whether social weekend, go out to the bars or anything. Like they had a ton of stuff there. And it was all extremely, like you said, walkable. So I know it was nice for guys that didn't have cars or that just wanted to leave it parked in the garage.
Yeah,
And then
we're
then
gonna have
there's
to make a trip.
our last the last one, the most recent one, and the one that I think at least I'm the most familiar with. I assume you are too, Parker. But that's Portland. What'd you think of Portland?
Oh, it's pretty cool. Obviously, I know. Actually, I think my girlfriend got out to go out and explore more than I did. Went on up area and stuff, kind of to some of the smaller islands. But I'd say that the plus is the seafood. Like I'm a big seafood guy, so that was pretty sweet to get that fresh food up there.
Yeah, what about how's seafood in Oklahoma?
Growing up on it, I guess it doesn't taste that different to me because it's what I've grown up on. But I imagine to someone in New England, it would probably be a step down.
So my takeaway here is that you are not a snob about your seafood.
No, no, I'm a human, as my girlfriend calls me, a human garbage disposal. I'll eat anything.
It's a good man. I mean, I grew up in St. Louis, so I mean, I grew up just going to the seafood places around, and I thought you could have probably told me that it was the best seafood on planet Earth, and I would have believed it because that's just what I grew up with, man. It's just what we had.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, I went when I lived in Arizona. That's the best mussels I've ever had were in Arizona. It had nothing to do with the mussels themselves. It was the sauce that they were in. So you make do with what's around.
yeah, I will say Oklahoma has some pretty sneaky Mexican or Tex-Mex. It's
I
pretty
believe it.
good.
Also, like, let's not like sleep on the fact that though Oklahoma is like, I know it's not close, but like the Gulf isn't like 8 states away. I mean, I
No,
know
yeah,
Texas is a big state, but
it's an 8 hour drive, I think, from where I am, or that might be Tulsa. It might only be six from here.
yeah,
But
so
yeah,
there's a body of water out there somewhere, right? It's like it's not you guys aren't like
yeah,
way like you guys aren't in like Montana or something where it's just like, all right, there's no ocean anywhere near us, but
yeah. No, if you want fresh, people definitely tend to go more towards catfish. That's kind of the fish that people rock with out here more.
oh yeah. That's what I grew up on in St. Louis. That's a big thing out there as well. So definitely not a snob with it either. So I'm happy to hear that you aren't as well. All right. So obviously we talked about a little bit of the food scene there and all that. You got to take the field with quite a few guys around you that had some hype. And what was it like this year getting to play with guys like Christian Campbell and seeing what he was doing, and a lot of the other guys were kind of, I mean, Mikey Romero towards the end of the year was just like hitting a home run every other pitch. So what was it like in your eyes that you got to see all these guys around you just like popping off?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it's a great group of guys that we had. Like I said earlier, everybody's kind of pulling for each other. So it's really fun to be a part of, especially those guys like Mikey or Casey that I moved up with or that started the season with. I mean, KC's the next Barry Bonds, as everybody has kind of said that on Twitter and everything. But like that dude just rakes. Sometimes like we make jokes like it might not be the prettiest thing in the field or the swing, but he will get it done every single time. So he's a stud. Obviously, you have Teal, Marcelo, Roman. Those guys are all studs. Getting to watch them play. I watched Roman hit the hardest ball I think I've ever seen in my life this year. It was like 117 point something off the bat for a home run. You blinked and that ball was out of the park. And then, like you said, Mikey, he had that stint down there in Greenville too, where it seemed like he was hitting a home run every other pitch. So those guys made it a lot of fun to pitch too, because they're putting up manufacturing runs for you. So you have that comfortability on the mound.
What was the trade deadline like for you this year? Just because there was a lot of talk with guys getting dealt, and we saw it. We were both in Worcester when that started, and we had no idea who was getting traded. We just saw all these lineup changes were coming in, and Matthew Lugo's not in the lineup anymore. Brian Zephyrjan's not listed anymore. Nico Cavadas. Is that stressful for you when that's going on, and how did that day and I guess that week, because there were some guys from AA from High A that got traded, how did that go?
For me, going through it already, I was just kind of thinking like, gosh, can I just be in the same place for longer than one season? Like, just let me chill out for a second. Like, I like the group of guys I'm building with right now. I like what the Red Sox are doing. But no, there's some tense times. Like everybody just kind of tries to put it to the side. We don't think about it, obviously, that while we're out there playing and whatnot. But no, it sucked because you get to know those guys. Like I was there. I actually got called up and was there for the Paulino trade and everything. And then obviously played a lot with Cutter Coffee down in Greenville. But just seeing the emotions from some of the guys when Paulino and them got traded, it sucks. And it kind of made me thankful, like, I got traded in the offseason, so I didn't have to, like, go through that in the season and, like, say goodbye to the guys that I've been playing with all year, or for me, get into pro ball with face-to-face. So it gets tense, but you just know it's a business and you got to put it to the side.
So are you familiar with the website Sox Prospects?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they have like their 2025 projected rosters and lineups and all that stuff out. And I think somebody brought this up the other day on one of the shows when we were talking with, I forgot who we were talking with, but it was in regards to the pitching rotations and just how stacked they look. I think maybe it was with Connolly or somebody, but as of right now, it was what they have projected. Obviously, a lot of things can change between now and opening day, whenever that comes around. But you'd be sharing a rotation just based off of these projections with guys like Connolly early, Blake Weehunt, Hayden Mullins, Isaac Coffey. The names go on. How does that is that gonna give you a little extra motivation knowing that you have such good arms around you, and it's like every single night we're trotting somebody out that's gonna get the job done?
Yeah, no, it makes it extremely comfortable. That time I spent down there in Greenville, that rotation of me, Early, Mullins, Weehunt, Rogers. I think we had Paez there too at that time. And then earlier in the year, we also had Monegro. And then we had Perales earlier in the year, JD Martinez. Like that, that was a really fun group of guys, and it seemed like that pitching staff was really, really close, where we were all always goofing around and stuff on the bench. So it was a really laid back group, and I think that allowed us to kind of go out there more relaxed and everything, rather than us treating like, hey, I got to beat this guy out and everything. It's like, no, I want to work on my stuff. I'll help you get better. You help me get better. We're kind of building each other up to where we realize, yeah, sure, we all can't play on the same roster more than likely someday, but why not build the guy up and he go start for another roster and you get to see him down the road.
Do you pay much attention to the the rankings on that? Every month you're cause at least for me, I used to be their social media guy, so I was always updating the rankings and this guy's number 24, but last month he was number 32. Do you pay any attention to that stuff?
We pay more attention to it to kind of mess with each other.
I love that.
I remember when, obviously, I always got a lot of crap talk to me about it. By We Hunt, Early, Rogers, all those guys, they always made sure to call me a prospect anytime they could. So I made sure to give it back to Early as soon as he got in that top 30. I think the MILB posted it. Oh, even Marcelo was letting him have it, so that was really funny. Up in AA, calling him a prospect. It's a good time.
Did you know that you're the highest? You're the highest rated pitcher in the prospect. And on their list, you're the highest rated one in the system that isn't currently recovering from Tommy John surgery.
I didn't know that. No, actually, I didn't. I knew Paralysis was up there, obviously, before he got hurt.
Yep.
But then, is it because Fitz graduated, or
no? They have you ahead. They have you at number 11 and Fitz at number 12.
That's a tough
good company though.
Yeah. Vitz is the man. I was really happy and proud of him the way he kind of entered his debut year and everything. I mean, he killed it.
Yeah, he looked good. It was funny because I talk a lot of baseball with my dad, and I bring him to a few AAA games a year, and Fitz was starting, and I think he was working on something. And it was like he got hammered and gave up like 3 home runs or something like that in that game. I think he still went 5 innings because he always seems to be able to get a little bit of depth. But my dad after was like, why were you hyping this guy up so much? And then September happened, and he had what was it, like the longest scoreless streak?
Yeah, it was like 15 innings or something like that.
Yeah, and it was like, well, that's why I was hyping him up.
Yeah, no, that's what see, like, you guys know a lot more about it because you guys are more in depth than the average fan and stuff, but like it's funny to see overreactions like that, like when someone is good is working on stuff in the games. So they might get a hit around a little bit or anything, something like that, and it's like, just trust the process. It's going to be all right, I promise. Like, the guy still got it. It's just we're sometimes even getting predictable as pitchers because it's like, hey, I'm going to throw this many sliders. That way I can get the practice on that. And then once we get that down, we can start mixing more usages and stuff.
I'm switching lanes here. I for one appreciate your social media game. I like what you bring to the table on social media. You talk about Colts football, which I will ask you about. And you also, I don't know, it's just like, it's a lot of football and a lot of like baseball all in one. I want to ask you about this latest post you had about Hunter Dobbins. Obviously, our good pal, Hunter Dobbins, getting added to the 40-man. That's very awesome for him. And Just Dixon, by the way. So that's good for both of them. But you made a post about Hunter getting added. The worst part is when he doesn't sign Splitter and you wear it off the shin. I'm assuming it only happened one time, but was that this past year?
Yeah, so it was in spring training. Me and him threw together pretty much every day in spring training because he was getting set up, I think, for Thursday in Portland. I was getting set up for Thursday in Greenville. He actually ended up living with me for that week out there because I kept the place I had. But yeah, I still to this day don't know if I didn't see it, if he didn't do it at all. I swear he didn't, but he said he did. But he has a really good splitter, splinker, whatever you want to call it. And I was thinking his little ride cut fastball, and I was wrong. So,
ouch.
Was that one of the worst you've probably had?
That probably hurt more because it was a little harder, but worst location was with Ski's knuckleball that I caught the second day in Portland. He threw me a knuckleball and I had never seen it before, and this is right before he started throwing it in game, and I wore it off the chest because that thing was moving.
He threw a knuckleball?
Yes.
Later in the season.
Yeah, later in the season, he was throwing it. It was pretty damn good too.
Really? I had no idea he was throwing one of those.
Oh yeah. It wasn't. I think that week in Somerset was the first week he debuted it.
Wow. All right. I mean, I had zero idea. That's news to me. That's awesome though. I mean, keeping that thing alive, that's incredible. I love that. And if it was effective too, like, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
cool.
I think he only had one outing where he couldn't really get it. Other than that, it was just throwing it in there like probably 76 miles an hour, 72 miles an hour. And it got some pretty good reactions out of the hitter.
Oh man,
That's cool, but that's got to be frustrating for a catcher where you don't know what he's going to throw. You don't know where it's going to be coming.
Oh yeah, no, I think it tripped up Teal that first week that he was throwing it. It looked like Teal caught the first one. I think he handled it after the first one, but the first one it looked like he caught a dumbbell. Like he was like, oh, holy shit.
Now, I missed your interview last year, so I do have a question that I want you to clarify from a year ago, though, because I've been stuck on this. Do you watch Revenge of the Sith before every one of your starts?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that goes into this next part. What is your favorite meme from Revenge of the Sith? Because there are a lot of them, and they are all pretty great.
I think my favorite one this one's not from Revenge of the Sith, but me and my roommate actually quote a lot is the I don't like sand. That one we quote that a lot. And I had some of the like Mullins is a big Star Wars guy too, so being out in Florida with the beaches and stuff, we were kind of joking about that. Like, hey, you want to go to the beach today? I don't like sand.
Do you have a favorite Jedi?
I would say Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's probably the go-to.
I like that answer. I forget who it was. The last person answered Anakin, and it's like, that's kind of a boring one.
Yeah, but it's like specific. It has to be Ewan McGregor.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's the man.
He was. I think he's the only reason that Obi-Wan series even came out was just because people were like, there were things that I didn't like about the prequels, but you know what you know what everybody liked? Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he killed it. I know growing up, it still blows my mind how much hate those movies got. Like, because I always thought they were like, I was like, man, this is awesome.
Oh yeah, no,
that's my generation, Star Wars. So
yeah, no, I mean, I remember when Attack of the Clones came out. I was in 7th grade, and I saw that in theaters 3 times, and it got better every. I don't think I blinked for like the lightsaber where Yoda just like busts out a lightsaber and he's flipping all over the walls and everything.
Yeah.
I don't think I blinked.
No, it's awesome. I love it.
Oh man, I like Star Wars, but I always get lost whenever you guys talk about it. I need to start watching those more, I think.
That's me with college football, to be fair.
Fair. Well, I wasn't gonna ask him about college football, but I am so curious. Why are you a Colts fan?
So that's where all my family lives. My mom grew up just northeast of Indianapolis, about 30 minutes or so, and my dad grew up in Indianapolis, right at Speedway. So every Christmas we go home. When I was younger, it was more frequently, especially when I lived I was born in St. Louis, so we would go up because it was closer. It was only about 6 hours instead of 12. And then my uncle used to run the official restaurant of the team. So he used to have that. So I'd go in there. I met tons of players like Reggie Wayne, Robert Mathis, Pierre Garcon. Yeah, so I met a lot of those guys when I was younger and was always just a huge fan. And obviously growing up with Peyton Manning, like it's hard not to root for that team. And then you had Andrew Luck and then the little carousel that we've had the last 6 years or so. But I still firmly believe that Anthony Richardson's the answer for the Colts, whether people want to jump ship or not. Guy's just young. I mean, he's younger than I am, which is crazy to think about. And I think you just got to take time. You got to build them up.
Yeah, I promise. I enjoy your Colts. I guess the roller coaster. I think of the season they've been having. Obviously, they just beat the Jets, which we appreciate up here as well. But it's been kind of funny, like trying to seeing you post some tweets and stuff like that. And it's like one week, it's just like, man, like. It's down right now. It's pretty down, and then back up, and then all right, it's going back down. It's going back up. It's a ride. I'm learning that.
Oh yeah, no, I got really excited, obviously, about last week, best game of his career. But then it's like now we got to go face the Lions, so it's like great. Can't have too high hopes with how good they are this year.
Oh yeah, they're my pick to win. But all right, I have a food related question for you because. I gotta ask. I need to know what is so good about Braum's ice cream.
I can't explain it. I guess just how fresh it is. Being like all their farms, all the dairy farms are in Oklahoma. but I don't know. It's just different. Like it's something you gotta try. Even my roommate who's grown up in Oklahoma calls me crazy, and he thinks that Bluebell's better, and I think that's just blasphemous. But it's just good, and then you got the bag of burgers for like $5. So getting that with a large chocolate, I actually get a large chocolate frozen yogurt or a shake, and it's just any time of the year, it could be 30 degrees out, and I'll still go get that.
So here's my follow-up question to this. Isaac Stebbins was the one that kind of was hyping up Braum's a little bit. If you had, for a guy that's never had it, I'm assuming Ed's probably never had Braum's. I'm assuming.
No.
Okay. For people that have never had it, where would you like rank it on like I guess like kind of like the fast food chain? Like where would you rank that? Would it be number one for you?
See, I don't really put it as fast food as much.
Okay.
Because it's not really an ice cream place. It's not really fast food because you have both of them there, but you also like go in and you have their own like produce, their own little grocery section as well in there. So it's like a mix of everything. For fast food, man, I'm trying to think of something comparable.
Is it like a Culver's kind of like the food wise?
Yeah, I would kind of say like a
Okay.
Culver's, mixed with kind of what I assume to be like a cookout kind of price range. So it's in. They also have killer breakfast burritos, so there's that too. But yeah, their ice cream for if you're going for fast food ice cream tops anybody. It's not close.
Okay. Ed, it's on the list when I get around to OKC. I'm assuming it's an Oklahoma thing.
Yeah, I think it goes up to Joplin, and then you might have some in North Texas, but primarily, yeah, in Oklahoma.
Okay.
This is culturally, is Oklahoma very different than Texas?
God, I can get in trouble for this, but no. Everybody's gonna say yes. I think it depends what part. If you go to Dallas, Austin, Houston, something like that, yes. But if you go to like where Dobbins is from in Lubbock, out there to say like Durant, Oklahoma, those people are going to be very, very similar. So it just depends. Like we don't have any big cities that will compare to Dallas, Austin, or Houston, so we're not going to have any cultures like that. But most of the rest of Texas, yes.
Yeah, we won't let Hunter know that you said yes because I feel like he would probably be the biggest opponent to that answer. I feel like he's very like, no, you're below us.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that thinks Texas needs to be its own country. So
Yeah, it's all good. I did hear though, by the way, he's a scratch golfer. Have you ever golfed with him?
only heard rumors, which is that he's nasty. I've heard from Mullins that he just beat the crap out of Mullins, I guess, on the course. And Mullins, I got to golf with, and Mullins is pretty damn good too. So I was like, I don't even want to get involved with that.
Yeah, Hayden, when we had him on the show, his golf clubs were sitting right behind him as like a little like show that he's the guy in that household. So
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't put it past Hayden to be a good one. Who has been in the system? I want my last golf question, I promise, Ed. But who is a guy in the system that you've enjoyed golfing with the most?
oh,
So
early
you can give a
early
couple.
was pretty funny because we had a golf trip for All-Star break this year. There was about I think 6 or 7 of us went down to Hilton Head, South Carolina. I got to play Harbor Town, which is awesome.
Ooh,
That was
it's a
one of
good
the
one.
coolest experiences. Um, Early and Fogel were a good time. Those guys are just always goofing around, pretty funny. I enjoy golfing with Cooper Adams just because he's only been golfing for like a year. So he gets pretty pumped when he hits a good shot, and it's funny to watch. But I probably enjoyed the most with Stebbins because that's who I go with the most, and we're pretty similar score wise. I think a scramble would be pretty good because it's like we're good at opposite things. Like he keeps the drive. I can hit the ball far, but I have no idea where it's going off of the drive.
Yep.
And then irons, I'm pretty good. I can putt. He can chip a little bit better than I can. So.
All right, that's fair. Ed, I have one remaining question to kind of end us on. Do you have anything empty in the bench here?
Oh, this is just the question that I always end things on. Do you have any pets?
I have my parents' dog up in Tulsa, named the Chocolate Lab. That's the only, and then a cat named Milo. He's dope. He knows how to play fetch, so that's pretty cool.
Does the dog know how to play cat fetch?
Oh, she won't leave you alone. She got a tennis ball all the time, trying to watch TV, trying to eat or anything. She's there with that tennis ball. But myself personally, no, I don't have any.
Well, I will say
that'd be tough on the road anyway.
Oh yeah, girlfriend wants a puppy, so that it might happen sooner than later, but that's going to be her problem then, because yeah, like I said, I'll be on the road, she'll be at the apartment, so she'll have to watch it.
Yeah, you're gonna lose that battle though. If the girlfriend spouse wants a puppy, you're getting one. I've learned that.
I've already mentally prepared for it.
I have too. I knew when I got married, I knew that a dog was coming. I can't find
a dog.
Not yet. February, I think.
Oh, congratulations!
Thanks. It's coming. So, all right. So I got one last one for you. I like to end it on this one too.
It's a good one.
What is it? What do you think it is?
You're going to tell them. You're going to tell them it's a good one.
Should I ask the sauce question?
You should ask the question that you were going to ask, and don't worry about my commentary.
Okay. Well, it is. I like speaking things into existence. Question is what I like asking at the very end,
Okay.
and we'll throw in a bonus sauce question after this. So let's just say that it is a year from now, and your 2025 season is in the rearview mirror. And I like speaking things into existence to see if they come true. And I keep saying it to make it come true. What are a couple things that you would like to speak into existence to happen in your 2025 season?
I think mainly and firstly, obviously no IL stints this year. Just get through the year, fully healthy, just killing it. And then obviously second, I want to help make an impact at the big league level for the Boston Red Sox. Like that's the goal this year, is to get up there and provide for the team the best I can.
All right. I guess I'll ask it. Yeah, bonus to end it. I don't know if you were part of the pitching staff discussions in Portland, but Jonathan Brand let me know that you guys had a question that was going around either the bullpen, pitching staff. I don't know if it was everybody, but it was like you have 5 fingers and you had to pick 5 liquids to like live on the rest of your life. I don't know if you were part of the group at that time.
No, you didn't. No, I wasn't a part of that.
Okay, it might have been just a bullpen thing. I guess maybe you weren't cool enough to be in there, but or maybe other way around. But
I think it's more that he's too cool because he's in the rotation.
There we go. There we go. All right, those bullpen guys, they talk about a lot of stuff out there. But okay, so yeah. They did the 5 liquids, 5 fingers. So I decided to do a little remix on it. I did 3 fingers, 3 sauces for the rest of your life to live on. What 3 sauces would you choose?
So it's like when you say sauce, is that like kind of like include condiments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So obviously ranch.
Hey, yep.
Ranch has to be one. Oh man, 3.
Yeah, I'll give 5. It's too easy if you say 5.
I would, just to be safe, probably say A1.
Wow.
Because that's pretty versatile too, because I put that on potatoes and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can put that on eggs too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And then I'm a spicy guy, so I guess I'd say buffalo. I feel like that would pretty much cover everything that needs sauce.
All 3 are super versatile too. I feel like you can use those on like different dishes. So I feel like that's safe. You couldn't believe the amount of gravies and chocolate sauces and
come on.
Not a ketchup.
I'm not a ketchup guy. So. And
then there was Conrad Kaysen, who just wanted like 3 different syrups.
Syrups, yeah, big syrup guy. So
okay, yeah, syrup isn't a terrible one but I guess just eat cereal or something that doesn't take that for the breakfast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been interesting. I don't know. It's been an interesting question to ask, and we've been getting a lot of stuff. But all right, it takes us to the end of our show here, David. We appreciate all the time you gave us. I know you've been making your media rounds lately, so we appreciate all the time you gave us, and we're looking forward to seeing you once spring training comes around. But thank you so much for hopping on.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. It's always a blast.